of miracles inside our bodies.
See every color on Earth. Hear sounds that inspire. Feel more than just heat. Taste a world of flavor.
Nice.
Smell the miracles of nature. See, smell, hear, taste, touch. Widen your world.
There are those of us who like to venture to the unexplored, to see the beauty in the strange and unknown. Those of us who go out there with a sense of wonder. If you're one of us, and if you want to explore more of this great planet, we're ready to take you there. It's time. Turkish Airlines. Widen your world.
At the moment we are waiting. Zambian distinguished speaker would join us, as far as I know. Let me check, please.
Okay.
Yes, we are online again. Distinguished members, ministers, respected ministers, delegations, and it's great honor for me to continue our webinar, Eurasia Airshow. Welcome to Eurasia Airshow 2020 again. In this panel, we are in Ministerial Roundtable meeting. We have three distinguished panelists here in this program. Our motto, industry collaborations in the air defense field. We were talking about, in break time, we were talking about COVID and vaccination protocols in different countries, because at this time, each country tried to share their experiences in such a difficult way. But mostly in this program, we will talk about aviation and defense subjects. Outputs of this meeting at this point: regional collaborations, innovative approaches to the air defense industry. I would like to start with Mr. Misto, the Chief Commissioner of CEO Jordan Civil Aviation. He's attending this program on behalf of the Prime Minister. And then I would like to continue with the Brazilian representative. He's Dr. Marcos Rosas Degaut Pontes. He's the Secretary for Defense Products in Ministry of Defense, but at the moment he's in Ukraine. He's in Kiev. He's closer to Turkey at the moment. And I'm in the middle of our distinguished panelists in Turkey. It's very nice to have you in this panel. Yes, the floor is yours, Mr. Misto.
Good afternoon, gentlemen, and thank you for having me, Mr. Shilik. It's a pleasure on behalf of the government of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan to attend this roundtable meeting. It's always a pleasure to participate in such important gatherings. For me, as a civil aviation chief of the civil aviation here in Jordan, our main concern has always been, as the case for all countries in the world, is safety and security. And of course, biosafety and biosecurity as well. We all know that aviation, it is not a merely mean of transportation. The aviation means connectivity, means tourism, means trade, it means employment. It's a way of doing, of improving and growing the economy. It is an economic enabler. Unfortunately, with the pandemic that we are facing, it had hardly impacted all industries, but in particular, aviation was the hardest hit. Definitely, we know that the contribution to the global economy is evident by such numbers. If we look at 2019, the numbers about employment, we have more than 65 million jobs out of aviation, and it represents 3.6% of the world GDP, which is 2.7 trillion US dollars. And if aviation was a country, it will rank 20th in size of GDP. So it could be one of the G20. And they were expecting that by 2036 to jump to 5.7 trillion US dollars and 98 million jobs. And of course, the employment, which is really critical, aviation, the direct employment, and the indirect induced, and the tourism catalytic numbers are really critical for all countries. And of course, with the COVID pandemic, there is a need for more than normal effort. There is a need for more than routine work. We need to have to double or triple our efforts. More collaboration is needed. More innovative solutions is needed in this domain more than ever. Of course, these innovations and collaborations it does not come by chance. It has to be planned well, and this should be able to guarantee the success for everybody. And of course, when we talk about the innovation and the collaboration, what is the critical element for this? Why we need such special collaboration and special innovation? Because at stake, safety at stake, security and facilitation is at stake, economical sustainability for airlines, for operators, and for the economy as well. Of course, environmental protection is at stake. However, what we need to collaborate for is that with these new technologies, there will be new emerging threats because with the new technologies, like nowadays, the new aeroplanes are E-enabled. E-enabling requires some kind of protection. Other than that, we will be more exposed to new threats like cyber threats. Here comes the need for collaboration between the aviation industry and the air defense industry, where they can work together. This is one part of it. And of course, when we consider the collaboration, it takes more than one level. The operational level, like the flexible use of aerospace, the congestion of aerospace needs more collaboration between the air defense industry and the aviation industry. The air traffic flow management arrangement, not only in Europe, but all over the world, this is a must to have efficiency in aviation and coordination with the air defense industry. Definitely, the important aspect of UTM, unmanned aircraft traffic management. This is a very important domain to collaborate together. Other than operational, on the technological, very important, like the UAS unmanned aerial systems and the software, the technical support, and the search and rescue methods. Of course, moreover, we need a regulators to coordinate with the air defense and the aviation to have harmonized safety and security state programs. Again, cybersecurity is an important, and the oversight enforcement policies, especially how to neutralize unlawful interference or unlawful use of drones near airports. So there are many areas where it becomes a necessity to collaborate and to coordinate efforts. It's not only an option anymore. Thank you.
Thank you very much again. And I was carefully listening your presentation, and you gave very precise numbers, the importance of aviation industry, for how important it is for the global world. And now I would like to go to Kiev, our guest from Brazil, from Ministry of Defense, Secretary for Defense Products, Mr. Dr. Marcos Rosas Degaut Pontes. Welcome again, and we are ready to listen your presentation or your speech.
Good morning, good afternoon, gentlemen. It's a great pleasure and an honor to be here. I entirely agree with the words said by Mr. Ernesto. There is a complete convergence. So allow me to, with a brief presentation, to make my ideas even clearer. Okay, gentlemen, can you see this presentation?
Clearly.
Great. So, allow me to say a few words about the Brazilian Ministry of Defense position, considering the present circumstances and future perspectives. This is the roadmap that we follow very briefly. So, it's becoming quite clear that as uncertainties and risks have grown, as mentioned by Dr. Mestre, and have remained at highly concerning levels, our connections and interdependence are inevitable. So it's also quite clear that it's essential to search for advanced technologies in order to support future challenges. A second wave of COVID in some countries of the world menaces the recovery scenario. Some countries are facing new obstacles with the resurgence of this pandemic outbreak. So we have to surmount this challenge. We have to surmount these obstacles. But it seems that new winds are coming. although the moment is obviously still of attention due to this turbulence, the defense sector has to show strength and flexibility. Unfortunately, it seems that it starts to establish a clear sign of recovery. In my country, Brazil, we have been able to surpass the most challenging moments, and our defense industry has proven its value, its resilience. After more than 50 years, nearly 60 years developing products and solutions, the Brazilian defense industry starts a new decade with a robust and reliable base. As you know, we have the competence to offer products, services, and solutions in different operational environments. But obviously, we keep working, looking for partnerships, collaboration, especially in these difficult times. Some companies have developed solutions to relieve the impacts of the present situation. That's we seek, that's what's necessary, partnerships and collaboration. So, we got a true need to forge these partnerships. We need to strengthen the triple helix. That's of utmost importance. And that's what we're doing, building synergies between different areas of the industry. We have defined a clear strategic plan of action. Our government is enhancing strong relationships with some countries for effective collaboration in the industry field. And in the future vision, the Brazilian defense industry has already established actions aimed at the business sustainability. These actions include strengthening, as I mentioned, the triple helix. We have implemented these strategic plans aimed at the strengthening our defense sector. We understand that the current scenario requires significant collaboration between the different defense areas, the business environment in which it currently exists, to increase its strength, its capacity for reaction. So, since the 1970s, the Brazilian Air Force has conceived and developed with Brazilian and foreign companies an integrated system that manages air traffic and air defense. This model has been applied in many countries around the world with the same level of integration. Because it has a top level of integration, it allows saving costs, it allows a faster response. It facilitates defense and security because it works in a single platform that integrates public agencies, private agencies, military organizations. This system safety was proven by the International Civil Aviation Organization in the Universal Safety Oversight Audit Program, a program that was launched in response to concerns about its adequacy regarding civil aviation operational security surveillance. Brazil achieved 96% compliance, which put Brazil in the top 5 countries. The system certainly guarantees the sovereignty of the airspace, the integration of the national territory. To accomplish its mission, the system involves structures of command and control detection, telecommunication, includes entire craft and air assets of the 3 armed forces. But let's talk a little bit about the future, about mobility. We know that São Paulo is one of the largest cities in the world. We have the second largest helicopter traffic in the whole world. We are aware of the new challenges arriving with urban air traffic management and the popularization of these ecosystems. Brazil's public agencies and private companies have a roadmap to expand their capabilities and handle this new model that impacts in all areas which need to be correctly addressed to obtain this model of sustainability. The high-tech used to support these new vectors, as the VTOL, which means vertical takeoff and landing, will probably use the Uber logic, integrating the user, the operators, and the vehicles in an operational set that allows people to be moved from point A to point B in an efficient and integrated manner. Approaching to the end of my presentation, let's talk about innovations. The future is designed as we think with electrical aircrafts, increasing urban transport mobility, cooperation between the nations, and the inevitable ecosystems popularization. We are ready to be part of this scenario, since as a Latin American leader in this area, we have to handle the control of over 22 million square kilometers. Still regarding innovation, our products have been spread all over the world. About 130 countries employ Brazilian defense products. The most recent, maybe powerful example of success is the C-390, which has just been acquired by Hungary, and Portugal is a multi-mission aircraft for tactical strategic air transport, already in use by the Brazilian force. So it's one of the most modern aircrafts in the world, but let's not stay here. Regarding innovation ongoing in Brazil, we got very promising projects such as E-Jets, the eVTOL that I mentioned before, and the STOUT, which means short takeoff utility transport, is a new hybrid platform. Conceptual studies in progress. In a very short time, we hope to put it under development. We'll take off on short and semi-prepared runways, facilitating use in more desert regions. So I think I'm about to expire my time, but the next decade will be critical to the growth and acceptance of this UAM industry. The Brazilian concept of an integrated air traffic management is a stable basis to handle the idea of integrated operation as a new standard for urban mobility. We have a tradition of developing strategic partnerships. We are prepared to establish them. So that's the message that I want to leave. We are ready. We are willing to cooperate with our friends. That's what I have to say. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much for this brief but very useful information presentation. And I know very well Brazil, and I closely follow, and Jordan as well, of course. And you have an enormous experience in aviation and defense industries, and you have very important brands, including Embraer. I'm sure you are proud of all these important companies and products and experience in South America. Thank you very much. And I would like to ask two short questions for each distinguished panelists, participants. And first, I would like to ask my questions for Mr. Misto. My first question is, what are the regional air defense cooperation areas for your country?
Indeed, that's a very good question. However, being a civil aviation representative here, I cannot answer for the air defense side. Possibly there is a roundtable tomorrow for the Air Force commander that I'm sure he will be able to answer this question in a more accurate fashion. Thank you. Sorry for that.
No, it's okay. And if you would like to, it's another defense-related question, but if you have any idea or any contribution, my second question would be, what is the next step for air defense requirements for the 5th generation and the 6th generation of air fighters? This is, I know, again, military side, but if you want to make a contribution, we are ready to listen.
Again, it's a military thing, but being a pilot, I'm a 787 pilot. So I love to have to think about the 5th generation and the 6th generation airplanes. Definitely is going to be fascinating. Again, I'm sorry, maybe
of course,
questions are more suitable for the military side.
Of course, because it's a specific question for specialists. And I would like to ask the same questions for you, Mr. Pontes. The first question was, what are the regional air defense cooperation areas? Because you have, in your presentation also, you mentioned about the cooperations and possible cooperations, future cooperations with your country and your companies. But if you also would like to add some additional comments, we would like to happy to listen to them.
Okay, again, it's very promising in Brazil. We got a number of companies dedicated to the sector, but not only Embraer, with the C390 Millennium that has been acquired by a number of countries, which I have already mentioned, who have innovative solutions, just like the Stout, which will be a smaller aircraft, but using a hybrid platform. We have other companies that are very strong in engineering and avionics, which are developing projects with other countries. One of these countries is Turkey, for example. We are producing small aircrafts to supply for specific niches, and we have plans to build a larger aircraft in the future, bigger than the C390. In terms of military cooperation, that's what we have so far. But we have engaged in some projects with a number of countries to cater for their needs in the specific markets.
Thank you for your answer. And the second question, again, I would like to ask, what is the next step for air defense requirements for the 5th generation and the 6th generation air fighters? If you would like to answer this question as well, we will be happy.
That's a good question. As you know, we have implemented the Gripen NG in Brazil in partnership with Sweden, with Saab. That's a very innovative aircraft. In terms of cost benefit, it's practically unbeatable. I'm talking about in terms of cost benefit. Our objective now is to make this jet fighter to be used by more countries, because we think that we can provide complete solutions when it comes to jet fighters, and obviously all that accompanies jet fighters, you know what I mean. So we are in an effort in a campaign, so to speak, to show that this is a project for the future. We cannot be attached to old paradigms. So we have every condition to make this a global solution. The Gripen NG, which has solutions designed in Brazil to attend to Brazilian needs, designed in Sweden, but they can be adjusted to fit the needs of virtually any country.
Thank you for this clear answer. And we are about to finalize this panel, and I would like to thank again for your important contributions. I would like to first Captain Haitham Misto, the Chief Commissioner and CEO of Jordan Civil Aviation, and also you are at this moment you are in Kiev, Ukraine, Ministry of Defense Brazil, Secretary of Defense Products, Dr. Marcos Pontes. Thank you again for nice comments and contributions, and I wish you first of all healthy days in such difficult time period, but I'm sure we shall overcome this difficulty soon, I hope.
We will.
Thank you again.
Thank you so much. Pleasure. Thank you.
It was a pleasure and honor.
Bye.
We'll see you in person soon.
Of course.
Thank you, gentlemen. Bye.
Thank you.
There's a world of miracles inside our bodies.
See every color on Earth. Hear sounds that inspire. Feel more than just heat. Taste a world of flavor.
Nice.
Smell the miracles of nature. See, smell, hear, taste, touch. Widen your world.
There are those of us who like to venture to the unexplored, to see the beauty in the strange and unknown. Those of us who go out there with a sense of wonder. If you're one of us, and if you want to explore more of this great planet, we're ready to take you there. It's time. Turkish Airlines. Widen your world.